Miss Shivani with us. So she is here with us. So that for one of the session is going to be engaged by her now from 11:30 to 1 o'clock. Then we will be breaking for the lunch. Then after lunch, we will be having a second session by her on social entrepreneurship as an emerging field. Then last session by me. Then say tomorrow morning by NABARD expert. So this is a slight change. The content will be as the same. They will be covered, but there is a little reshuffling of the sessions. So now, without taking any much time, I welcome Shivani Dhan, who is working as an assistant professor and training and placement officer with the School of Business with Lovely Professional University, Phagwara, Jalandhar. So I welcome you to this training program and to this session. And without taking any time, I request to engage the session on social entrepreneurship, our conceptual framework.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, good morning to all of you. How are you all? Actually, I was sitting and I was just listening lots of murmuring from my seniors. May I have a little introduction with you all? I mean, just brief about your name, from where you are, and what you think that what is the purpose of you to come over here. So, sir, starting with you.
My name is Gaurav Gupta and I'm assistant professor in Chandigarh.
Okay, Chandigarh.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you think that what is your purpose over here? So your domain?
So there is a lot of fluid cry about startup. We should have some knowledge.
Okay.
So that we also can disseminate.
Okay, so your domain area?
In management.
Management, okay.
In the Ranbir Singh from Delhi. Basically, there are few students because I am associated with pharmacy department.
Pharmacy.
So few students always want to open their own in the shop or like that. So I thought maybe I can be of some help.
That's good. Great thought.
Yes.
Okay, which is generally missing among the teachers these days. Okay, yes, sir.
My name is JP Singh and I teach at the College of Architecture, Chandigarh.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to have a general exposure about this domain.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I'm Sujay Sengupta. I'm also from the College of Architecture.
Okay.
And since our field is in architecture, we have lots of students who start their own office. But it is a little different, which we can understand that entrepreneurship and starting an architect's office slightly different, or maybe the same. So just to find out what is actually the trend and how our students can be benefited from some of this.
Okay, great thought, sir. Thank you so much. I hope you all are observing this. I mean, what exactly, if I ask you what exactly it is? It's a glass. Anything else?
An empty glass.
An empty glass. Okay, and if I want to, let's say, if I fill more water into it, what will happen? It will be out. And if I want to add something more into it, what exactly I need to do is, I need to remove this and then only I can fill it. Right? In psychology, sir, there is one process that we called unlearning. But gas is not visible. If I ask you gas, you people will not understand. But right now, with your naked eyes, without using any instrument or any specific device, you can't show me that air is around you. Air is around us. But to make it visible, that's why I have used this solid, liquid state of water. So actually in psychology, there is one process called unlearning. Actually, my basic objective that why I was trying to make you with the small exercise that you all are well learned people, right? Even more educated and more qualified than me. What is my basic objective over here for next 1.5 hours is whatever you know, I just want that forget it for a moment, right? So that I can help you to understand a new thing which we all have a discussion and we can learn and we can contribute. Before that, I just want to play one video, that is video number 1. It would not be there. That's it. Okay. Actually, my main objective to show you this video is just to making aware about all those social problems which we all come across. But I'm not asking you to take out one penny from your pocket and work. So my topic which I'm going to discuss with you, it's all about the social entrepreneurship, that in which I will not ask you to give charity. I will not ask you to open up the NGOs. I'll ask you to solve the problem of the society which is existing, but with entrepreneurial principles. I hope you all are aware about HDI, that is Human Development Index, on the basis of which every country in the world has been measured. Earlier, which was GDP or GDI, but which has been changed to Human Development Index, in which our country is very lacking behind. So what are the various problems of 21st century? The first is your life expectancy, the rate at which the average level of a person in his life. Second is the education system. It is the average time that the person spent in his life for the education to get himself be self-reliant. And the third one is wealth distribution. As I have mentioned it has been displayed in the video as well, that the poorer is becoming more poorer and the richer is becoming more richer. So there is a big difference between the wealth distribution. So these are the various challenges that the 21st century we people have been facing. So what happened in 19th century? This was the first concept that comes in the mind of this person named Bill Drayton in 19th century, that the word social entrepreneurship. Generally, we people have come across with NGOs, with social activists, the people who are working for the society itself. So this was the first person who have given the origination of this word, what exactly social entrepreneur is. So before I'm coming to this, what exactly it is, I'm just sharing the one statement of the person, what he said, that social entrepreneurs are not the content just to give a fish or to teach how to fish. They will not rest until they have revolutionized the fishing industry. So he's one of the world's leading thinker. Might be you people have aware about his Ashoka's House. He's the CEO of this Ashoka. This is the global organization, and which select the individual who are creating innovation and entrepreneurial solution. Recently, there is one news, might be you people have come across. There is one person, specifically an entrepreneur from Bihar, first time invited to America's White House. Might be you people are aware about this news. This is the first time in the history that this happened, that anyone from India, specifically from Bihar, has been invited to the White House, because that person has created some social change with the help of this entrepreneur. And as we all are aware, that startup is one of the way by which we are trying to change or trying to change the face or transform our country from one to another phase. Okay, so since 1981, Ashoka has been elected as 2,000 leading social entrepreneurs, and providing them a living stipends and professional groups to assess the global networks. With more than 60 countries he has been working. He has given actually the new model to the social entrepreneurs. Before I'm just giving more light on the same. What exactly we people consider the entrepreneurs is? Entrepreneurs are all those people who are working, who are using men, material, resources, and they are using themselves or some using their ideas and converted them into one output which gives the profit. Right? This is what we people have been all working. But when the concept of society has been inculcated into it, that is known as social entrepreneurship. I will brief it more in my upcoming slides. So first time this Bill Drayton has introduced this concept that we are working not only for the profits, but yes, we have to bring the certain change in the society and the lives of the people. He is among the Americans' 25th best leader of US News World Report, And in 2004, he was named one of the company's Fast 50, a group of idle elite. In 2002, Business Week named Ashoka Approach of Philanthropy one of the 11th most innovative of the organizations it surveyed. So it comprises of two components. One is non-profit and the another one is intersectorial domain. Non-profit in which you are pursuing your business, but your basic objective is not the profit one. Intersectorial means in which you are working not only in a single domain, you are working in different sectors with different principles you people have been using. You are bringing a social change in the society that comes out to be a social entrepreneur. Okay, to support the social entrepreneurs who are leading and who are cooperating with change makers, who are the team models and address the fluidity to rapidly evolving the society is. And Ashoka has this belief that all those social entrepreneurs, they have some specific skills, they have specific leadership skills, they have that problem solving trait among themselves that differentiate them from the normal entrepreneurs. So this is what exactly social entrepreneurship means. It's an innovative in which you are bringing some new change with social value. You are creating a social value in the system that can occur within the non-profit, business and the public sectors. So three components that I will discuss. Actually, social entrepreneur is an oxymoron. Oxymoron means when you are using two words in opposite manner, like open secret. You are talking about entrepreneurship and you are talking about society. These are those things which cannot run together. It is very difficult. Just like business ethics. We are running business and we are talking about ethics. So oxymoron is an English word in which cannot work together. So this is one of the challenge that has been faced by these social entrepreneurs, that how to work with society and you are not looking for the profit. So these are the characteristics. Rest of the characteristic, that is be innovative, transformative, leadership, storytellers. But the last component which differentiates the social entrepreneurs, that is the social problem solver. So these are the various perspective view that I want to share it with you. Generally, we people consider that what is the academic view of an entrepreneurship? It is an economic activity. The connection between opportunity and entrepreneur focuses on profitability. Opportunity means, in the case of generally, we consider that entrepreneurs are those in which you are taking into account the economic share, in which profit is one of the major component that we taken into account while you are setting up any entrepreneurship. And if you talk about the practitioner point of view, in which you have the attributes to exploit certain opportunities. For example, like in our Punjab itself, there is a huge problem of water, purity of the water. So what the companies have thought the plan, like they introduce the water purifier. That resolves the problem. But if you people are aware about this thing, that from few months back, there is a news that all these water purifiers that we people have been using, they are also filtering that component of the water which is essential for our health. Now, if you talk about entrepreneurship, they people are working on the solutions, but the solutions which are giving to us, that is not sustainable. So social entrepreneurship means this concept in which you are giving solution, but that is sustainable and that is not detrimental for you and for the society itself. We are in 21st century itself. We consider ourselves as developing countries or developed countries, if you talk about. And if you people are aware that US is one of the country in the world which is into maximum e-pollution. We are taking lots of things from the nature, from the society, air, water, but what we are giving back to them? Polluted air, polluted water, polluted soil. And I think you people are quite aware about the incident that happened in Barack Obama when visited. His wife, Michelle, has cancelled many of his programs due to this reason, because the parts per million, I hope you are aware that pollution is measured in ppm. And the level of pollution in Delhi is quite high. So she cancelled down many of its programs due to this problem. On an average, 40% of the children in Delhi are prone to lung cancer due to the poor health. And these days, dengue, this chikungunya has been going on. So all these problems are one of our outcome, that it is called either industrialization or entrepreneurship, but we are forgetting our society. What our ancestors have given to us a good water, but what we are giving to our upcoming society, because every earth, every planet, or every state, or every place has its own saturation level. Now this is the saturation level where we have to think about the society itself. So that's why these days, actually, the basic problem with this social entrepreneurship is, I'll discuss in my upcoming slides as well. The basic problem is this: people are unable to define it, what exactly it is. There are certain people who are confusing it with NGOs. There are certain thinkers who are confusing it as an activist. There are certain thinkers who are confusing them, all those social server. But exactly, it is not out of these. Social entrepreneurs are neither a social activist nor any other component. It is one of the component in which you are bringing social change in the society, but by using entrepreneurial principles. So academic view of social entrepreneurship is activity of social sphere in which you are drawing the principles of conventional entrepreneurship. Means I am solving one problem of the society, but I'm not asking you to give me 1 penny or 2 penny or charity or something else. Means I will resolve the problem, but by using all those principles which are using in general businesses. So this is what social entrepreneurship. But there's a big challenge that people have lots of confusions due to lack of proper research or the direction in the research which is lacking in this area till date. Now the practitioner think about social entrepreneurship is an activity in which you are looking for the actions, attributes, process which drives the social change. The factor which is society, which is one of the important component for the same. So what exactly social entrepreneur is? It's creating a social value at least a prominent way in which you are capacity to recognize, you are taking the opportunities off from the society, you create some vision, and you will adapt some novelty in creating the same. I will give you few examples for the same. This is one of the statement of founder of Arvind Eye Care Hospital. This is one of the hospital in South India. Mr. Govindappa, he is the founder for the same. He said that if Coca-Cola can sell millions of sodas and McDonald's can sell billions of burgers, why did Arvind sell millions of sight restoring operations? So what exactly this person is doing? There's a hospital in which they are charging from the people who are rich, but they are not charging nothing from the people who are poor. Means he's giving the sight to the people, but he's not asking for any charity. And
Tamil Nadu?
yes, it's in Tamil Nadu. So this is inspired by Aurobindo's teaching, in which Dr. Weiss retired in at the age of 57. He has set up this hospital and added a medical research, an institute of community ophthalmology. 3/4 of the surgeries are free of cost. So I think this is one of the way in which we can all think about the same. Means we generally, this is a problem that there is a common phrase that charity begins at home. But if I want to serve something, I should have a penny in my pocket. If you want to run the business, because there is a basic difference between the NGOs and any social entrepreneur. NGOs means you always needs the money to run it, but from where you get the money? But in the case of social entrepreneurship, I'm telling you to generate the money, but you are giving it not for the profits, for the societal change, to resolve any problem in which you are giving the sustainable solution to that particular problem. So he has set up various designing models in which services coupled with high level of efficiency, in which the cost providing free services, which includes the revenue to the patients who having the low pay. And he has mentioned this thing: I don't run a business, I give people their sites. The secret of success is high efficiency and self-sufficiency. These are the reasons for his success. And I want to mention one more thing, that all the girls that has been hired from, mostly recruited from the near villages, and they came at 4 a.m. and hospitals start working at 5 a.m. in the morning to Saturday, and no appointment, even the paid ones itself. So these are the various eye care systems that particular hospital is running. And he wants to go global for the same, and he has been awarded with Padma Shri Helen Keller International Award, and around the world, which is quite famous. So with this one example, I just make it clear first of all, because when you people go through with the research of this particular concept and you people come across, there's a huge confusion. That is one of the reasons that why people are not able to work in an appropriate direction. So there are three components that social entrepreneurship is there. A social entrepreneur is someone recognize the problem. Actually, I will share one model with you as well. To recognize a problem itself is a big challenge, as we all are aware that in PhD itself, if once your synopsis, your problem has been identified, then you can be able to work in a particular direction. But in the case of social entrepreneurship, we all are aware that problems are around us, right? But recognizing the problem and with which intention you are recognizing that problem, this is again a question mark. And it is not with everyone that everyone will not become the social entrepreneur. I will discuss about the same. So three components I want to do. First, there should be a social problem in which you are using the entrepreneurial principles, and which you will organize, create, manage the venture to bring some social change, a societal change that is helpful for someone and that can bring change in someone's life, that can transform someone's current state of life to a good future state of life. That is the basic objective. So there are various people who have given various definitions for the same. Few of them I will discuss with you. So Leadbitter in 1997 has used the entrepreneurial behavior. So entrepreneurial behavior for the social ends. Generally, we consider the entrepreneurial behaviors are those behaviors in which everyone is looking for the profit itself. If you talk about this Flipkart, Snapdeal, Alibaba is one of the world's prominent website for the businesses itself. So when the person is setting up the business, he has one thought in his mind, directly or indirectly, the people are not mentioning, but profit is one of them. But in this case, entrepreneurial behavior you people have, but that is not for the profit making. That is for the societal change. I want to mention one other example that I have been observed. There is one place in Punjab named Philor. In Philor, there is one person who has been selling the nappy of the kids. Like we people generally have, there are two companies in India that has been selling the same. That person has selling that nappies of the kids in just the same price that is of manufacturing. Otherwise, the cost price of that nappy is 20 to 30 rupees, but he is selling at rupees 5, only the manufacturing cost. I mean, there are certain people who are working for the same as well. Means specifically for the people who are at the poor level. Okay, in Rice 1999, he has defined the social entrepreneurs who are creating a social value in which innovation and leveraging the financial resources for social, economic, and community development. Another name that has been come from the Asian side, that is, might be you people are aware about, Muhammad Yunus. Muhammad Yunus is known as the father of this social entrepreneur. That person has spent 17 years and changed the whole concept of social entrepreneur. He is setting up the concept of Grameen Bank. So the story started, and he is also Nobel Prize winner itself. What he has done, one day he has been observing this thing that the people who are working in the village, they are not able to make both ends meet. So what he has decided to lend the $1 at that time. Means it was of 1990s that he has been come across with this concept. He make the people self-reliant. He has lent them $1 $30 rupees he have lent them. And with the passage of time, there are various small scale businesses that has been started, which comprises of your this BD making. There are various other cottage businesses that he has been started. And with the passage of 17 years, the whole scenario, he has been approximately 1 million people's life has been changed. And in which they are not asking, he has not asked for any government help, any NGO help, or any other third party help. He make the people self-reliant by their own. So there is a concept of microfinancing, might be some of you are aware about this thing, that has been come across from Muhammad Yunus itself.
Bangladesh.
Yes, it is in Bangladesh. Then social entrepreneurship is also, Fowler has given his own definition: creation of viable socio-economic structures, relation, institutes in which they are practicing and they are yielding the social benefits. So if you come across with the definition, in every definition, the word social is there, in which you are influencing your society one or another way. More Eatle, the multidimensional construct involving the expression of entrepreneurial virtuous behavior in which social mission, in which you are able to recognize social value, creating opportunities in key decision making, in which you are also showing your proactiveness and risk taking. Drayton has also defined it: one, core values, identifying, addressing, and solving the social problems. And Alfred Eatle has created the innovative solution to immediate social problems, in which you are mobilizing the idea, capacities, and social arrangements which is required for social transformation. And in the case of Harding, he has mentioned that the person should be motivated enough for the social objectives which instigate some a new and other activity. I'll discuss with one of the model that how exactly it works. So there are various other people who have defined it. Generally, I'll show you. So this is the basic characteristic of a social entrepreneur, in which you are solving a problem, you are developing some social change, you are transforming the lives of the people in which society is involved. As I have displayed in the video, there are various problems that has been come across in our country as well. But what is the solution for them? There are three pillars that generally asking for the help, or there are three: either your government, either NGO, or any social activists that brings change in the society and that takes off the responsibility to bring the change in the society itself. So, but social entrepreneur is something in which there are three components. One is your social problems. Identification of social problem is again a challenge that I will discuss. The social problem, then is your sustainable solution, and in the last, that is your social change. Sustainable solutions are those solutions which will remain for a long span of time and which would have an impact on the lives of the people. It is not for the short term. Just like your allopathy, when you people generally take the allopathy medicine, which is a side effects. This is a solution, but it's not the sustainable solution. In social entrepreneurship, we are looking for the solution that is sustainable and that will have a good effect on the lives of the people. So this is the basic thing that differentiate the entrepreneurship from social entrepreneurs. So this is one of the study of Austrian, in which he has mentioned that what makes a social entrepreneur opportunities differ from other types of opportunities. So he has developed one book for the same. From his book, I have taken the reference that he said that people cannot recognize all the opportunities. Means if you talk about all those social entrepreneurs, there are various organizations. In my next sessions, I will discuss the various organizations, those who have been working for the social society itself, that all people cannot recognize the social problem. You and me all are aware about there are lots of problems in the society itself. If we also recognize the problem, but we are not having all those resources in which we can work to resolve that particular problem, because there is a lots of motivation, inspiration, resources, moral judgment. There are lots of factors that is affecting for the same. So information about the opportunities determine who becomes the entrepreneur. So there are various factors that will contribute that who will become an entrepreneur and who will become the social entrepreneur. And the process depends upon the factor other than person's ability and willingness to take that particular action. So I would like to show you that model first. So this is one model which tries to explain that what are those factors that triggers the person to become a social entrepreneur. This is not only the factor, this is only the intentions. Means what are those intentions that make the person to become a social entrepreneur. The first is the cognitive and emotional factor. Cognitive factor is that factor which you people are thinking in your mind only, but that is not the reality. You are thinking in your mind, the thinking process. So which comprises of your emotional empathy. Emotional empathy, I hope you all are aware about what exactly emotional empathy means. Let's say if I'm wearing one shoe and I'm asking the same thing to you, that this shoe is by cutting my foot, you people will not understand. If you put your foot into my shoe, then you people understand that from where exactly it is cutting. So emotional empathy is the way by which how you are understanding others' problem. Generally, this is the common scenario that our country has been also facing, that we are struggling for terrorism from last more than 20 years, and we are saying the same things to US that yes, terrorism is there, but US is not understanding when the incident was happened on 11th September itself. Then they realized this thing that yes, exactly, the terrorism is there. So emotional empathy is there, but the research which the Austrian has mentioned that there is a particular attitudinal level up till which the person can understand the emotional empathy of other, and that triggers him to become a social entrepreneurial intention. Means I understand someone's problem, I have seen the video, I got emotional, I understand the problem. But my level of emotional empathy is not at that particular level. This is called threshold level, which triggers me to do something. So the first thing that triggers any social entrepreneurial intentions, that is you need to come at that particular threshold level. This is the minimum level that triggers you to become the social entrepreneur. That is the emotional empathy. So his research shows that there is a minimum threshold level of emotional empathy that motivates the person to become a social entrepreneur. Then is cognitive moral judgment. Moral judgment in business ethics, generally people use the word ethics, means this is the set of principles which helps you to define that what is right and what is wrong. So moral judgment, how your morals comes across to be. If someone, let's say, if I'm giving you one example, there is one person who has made a robbery of 2 crore rupees to save the life of his mother. Now what you people will say? Is it right or wrong? If you will be the owner of that particular jewelry shop, you will say it's wrong. But yes, if it will be your mother, you will say yes. So moral judgment empathy means it is again that particular level which triggers the person to become a perceived desirability to perform the same. So both these factors have some certain threshold level which has the direct influence, and both these things are positively related to each other, because these two factors will contribute to your perceived desirability. Then it's not like this. I am thinking that I want to work for the society. First of all, my family will not allow me for the same. So there are various enablers in the life of a person, of a social entrepreneur. So first is your self-directed, how much you are self-motivated for the same. So again, there is the minimum level that is required for any person to become a social entrepreneur, because that should be feasible as well. If I want to work for some idea, recently there is one project that in our university got, that is from the government of India, that is Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So might be if you people have some idea that government of India is giving this project to the students, in which what the students have to do, that they have to campaign Swachh Bharat Abhiyan in the various schools and colleges. They need to upload the videos, events, organizations, and they will get the certificate for the same. So there is a proper modus operandi for that particular project. So this is what our government is doing. But if I have 60 students in my class, but out of 60, only 6 students are willing to do this type of project. So minimum desirability is required, minimum threshold level is required among any person to become the same. But if I have that minimum threshold level, I should have certain enablers for the same. So enablers, it can be self-efficacy, it can be self-directed, or it can be the social support. Social support means if one of my student comes up with this idea that, madam, yes, I want to go for this particular project, I need to support him. In the same way, in social entrepreneurship, you have been supported by those, either can be your family, your friends, your circle. So these two factors will become your perceived feasibility to become a social entrepreneur. I'm not saying that this is a social entrepreneur, but it's only the behavioral intention. But there is no research which proves that all your behavioral intentions will make you social entrepreneur, because there are other challenges as well. That is the economic factor, your financial factor, your societal factor. You are not getting political factors. There are lots of factors that will not encourage you to become. So these are the little bit glimpse of the individual's intentions that make them, or that trigger them to become the social entrepreneur, in which they are looking for the change in the society. That would lead to a social entrepreneurial behavior, and that will become the social enterprise. There are various groups, those who have been working for the same. Generally, as I have been already mentioning, that people have a confusion with the both, with social service and societal social entrepreneurs. So social service is something in which you influences other to generate a new and sustained equilibrium. But in the case of he takes direct actions, means you are not looking for others' hand for your work and all. So there are various contributions that has been developed. I think might be you people are quite aware that recently the government of India has made it necessary that every company has to contribute 2% for their CSR. That is corporate social responsibility that you have to do. But how we people are utilizing it and how we people are making it, that is again a question mark. Generally, companies use this CSR to save their taxes. Means I'm just sharing my live example to you. Last time I went to Bhutan for one of the training program itself. So one of my friends said that, Shivani, you do one thing. You just get some funds from the company itself. So you do what you will go do there, you promote their company, and company will give you the travel fund, because it is very costly to go to Bhutan. It's quite expensive comparatively to any other countries, as it is our neighbor country, but still the flight cost is quite high. So my friend has suggested me that you do one thing, you promote that particular company, and the company will give you money only in papers that they have funded me. But in reality, they will not pay me anything, but only in papers. And those papers they will send in their balance sheet that yes, we have funding and to save the taxes. This is what exactly going on the people. I think you people are aware about the one news of this P. Chidambaram's wife, that 250 NGOs has been registered with the name of that particular person, and there is no any existence. That also happens in the case of Satyam itself. So intentions, as I have been explained, that intention is very important, but that is somehow missing. But yes, if we are taking into account social entrepreneur, these are the various ways by which exactly social entrepreneurship can bring the social change. It can be your employment, it can be your new goods or your services, so social capital and your equity promotion of any company it can be. Okay, I have come across with the various research in which the people have been defined what exactly the social entrepreneur is. They are using it as a non-profit initiatives. I'm using this word non-profit. Now, what example means? Again, there is a little bit dilemma in this. When I'm using the non-profit, let's say I'm running one social enterprise, and I'm working from last 5 years for the same. I am contributing to the society as well. I'm resolving some social change. But after doing this as well, let's say I have surplus of rupees 10 lakh with me. Now what I will do, can I buy car for that particular 10 lakh rupees? So again, it's a question mark. So if it is a non-profit, how it is a non-profit? Still, it is not defined. I'm resolving the problem of the society, I'm giving employment, I'm resolving some social change, I'm transforming their lives. But after doing this also, I have surplus money. So is this a non-profit or it's a profit? In search of alternative funding strategies, management to create the social value. Another group, the second group of the researchers, which understand the socially responsible practice. So this is the major component that whatever you people have been doing, do it for the society in which you are socially responsible. Socially responsible, I am opening up one brick factory or a brick manufacturing factory itself. But what is the waste that I am giving to the society or to the environment? So that I need to take care. Means whether it is one way or another way, that I need to take care, in which you need to be socially responsible. Okay, and you are resolving any social problem in which you are catalyzing the social transformation related to your society itself. So it's a combination of opportunity in which you are combining the organizations and you are giving the solution which is sustainable and sustainable for a long span of time, and which would have a long span of it's a long impact on the lives of the people itself. So there are three themes that I want to discuss about the successful social entrepreneur. Successful social entrepreneurs means all those people who are identifying the opportunity. Again, I'm saying that identifying the opportunity, it's not the cup of tea for everyone. It varies from one to another. How you are recognizing those opportunity, and what are those factors that triggers you, whether it is your intentions, your empathy, your social empathy, your support, your family support, or your willingness, your self-efficacy. All these are the factors which helps you to identify that particular opportunity. Once you have identified, but whether you think that it is feasibility of that particular social change, is it okay or it is not okay? Then successful social entrepreneurs will consider social and institutional factors in evaluating, as I have mentioned, that how you are evaluating those opportunities. You are evaluating those opportunities as a profit or as a social change. So that is what a social entrepreneur differentiates from the another entrepreneur. Because sometimes it happens that you people set up the business for the society, but once you got to know that yes, it is giving me the profit as well, again. So during the process of exploring the new social ventures, successful entrepreneur will directly addresses the social and the barriers. The barriers, it can be economical, financial, social, any sort of barriers it can be. So I define what exactly the social entrepreneur is. The identification of social problems and a specific solution or a set of solution which evaluate the social impact. Means whatever I am doing today, what will be its impact on by next 10 years. The business model of sustainability venture that have some social mission, oriented for the profit oriented or non-profit entity that pursue double or the triple bottom line. This is the scope of this social entrepreneurship, in which this is a non-charitable unit in which we are not looking for any sort of charity from you. You need immersion understanding. That is very important before we are understanding or we are working or we are making the people to work for the same. It's a non-dividend company in which you are immersion understanding, as I have given you the various instances that when the people start working for the society itself, then with the passage of time you are getting the profit which is the beyond, it's called surplus. Now how you are utilizing that money? So this is what you need to understand it, that you are opening up the venture for the society or for the profit itself. That is a question mark in the same. People are generally considering that that is NGO is also a social entrepreneurs, but exactly NGOs are not social entrepreneurs, because NGOs need every time funds, even from the communities, government, or some people or some NRIs, those who are giving. So you need to understand that the model which I have discussed with you, that is all those components: your social empathy, your social efficacy, your support, your perception, your intention, how it has been converted to social enterprise. So you need to understand this thing, that whatever you are doing, this is for the society, not for your profits. Okay, now I want to give you one example of assistant professor, because we all are professors. So this is the person, she's in molecular biology, faculty of sciences in the University of Jordan. She launched a program called We Love Reading, which exists to positively impact the children throughout the Jordan and creating a library in local neighborhoods, which encouraging the community to share their experiences, storytelling, and creating a life. Starting in 2006, Dr. Darjani has trained 400 women how to read aloud and establish 100 libraries throughout the Jordan. And these libraries serves 4,000 children. Her model has spread to Turkey, UAE, Tunisia, and Saudi Arabia. She won this award. So this is one of the example. Now, with the help of this video, voice is there? I think it's 2 number. If I play over here, voice will not come.
Today, with social and economic inequality, Today, with social and economic inequality growing worldwide, millions of people are connected by the idea that it is possible to do business on a human scale. That it is possible to make money and do something good for the community. That idea is called social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship is a new and creative approach to business, social engagements, and social services. Today, there are numerous organizations operating worldwide and in the country that we call social enterprises. A social enterprise is just like any other business. Its work is charged at market rates and it generates profit. What makes it a business on a human scale is the way that profit is used. Profit serves to fulfill clear social missions. Social enterprises do not serve to enlarge the wealth of their owners or shareholders. They operate in order to contribute to social equality and improve the living conditions of people in the community. Generated profit is reinvested in the business or in realizing social goals like job creation, social inclusion, cultural needs, healthcare, and preservation of the environment. A social enterprise places social goals ahead of increased profit, uses business as a means of social change, resolves social problems through market strategies. Social entrepreneurship is also a good way for civil society organizations that want to reduce their dependency on donor assistance and gain greater financial and operational freedom. Starting a social enterprise is a challenge. For all those who could profit is not the only goal. We want a job that makes sense and has a purpose. Visit www.sense.rs and find out all about social entrepreneurship. Sense, Social Economy Network Serbia. Today, with social and economic
So I think the idea of social entrepreneurship might be clear to all of you. Yes or no? Clear. Thank you. So this is the scope for the youth, for our society itself. That generally people are looking for the money in any career. So I think if the life of the person will be so good, he would have means there's a lots of immigrants from the India itself to the overseas. The basic reason is the life standard of the life itself. So this is what they people are caring over there. No doubt that population is one of our constraint, that but this is also one of our strength as well. People generally consider population as their weaknesses, but I think it can be one of the strength as well. So if 1 billion is the population, we can make a self-sustaining economy. Means if you people have a little bit idea about Bhutan, Bhutan is one of the closed economy of the world. From last 5 years, the people have been opened little bit. Means if any person except India wants to go to Bhutan, they have to pay $250 tax for 1 day. So this is what this country has. This is closed. Means they don't want to intermingle it. They don't want to get globalized. And if you got the chance to go there, you will see that country is very beautiful. They have retained 70% of their forest area, good life, a peaceful life. So if we compare our country for the same, 1 billion is the population, we can be also self-reliant. Self-reliant means if you are manufacturing, you are selling and you are getting the profit. What is the need of then globalization itself? Means I'm not saying that stop that globalization itself, but yes, we are always looking for the problems. But yes, solutions is there. But yes, we have to somehow need to be responsible for the society as well. Generally, every businessman, if come across with any entrepreneurial activity, he or she is looking for some profits. But what to do with that money if you don't have water to drink, and good water to drink, good food to eat, and good life to spend? So I think this is what we all need, and this is what we all needs to trigger to our students as well. Generally, being the placement coordinator, we used to come across with the companies, and this is the scenario in every university itself. Like we encourage the people, okay, we are preparing you for 10 lakh package, okay, we are preparing you for 20 lakh package. But actually, what sort of education that we are giving to our students, it's more about we are making them materialistic. We are making them materialistic by this capitalistic society, which is a part of US, and we are forgetting our society, which has been our Gurukul system, all these Chanakya Nitis, all those Gandhian principles, in which if you people have might idea, in Gujarat there is no any rickshaw puller, because they are still following certain norms that a man will not pull or will not pull any human beings. So this is somehow, I think, teachers plays a very integral role in the same. Recently in the WhatsApp, I got one message, there's one group of teachers, and SOCAM have released one paper. I think might be if you people have idea, they have released one research paper which shows that every country has some budget for education system, for spending into education system. And in which our country is spending 3.65% for their education system, and which is 5.65 in US, 4.79 in Germany, and in UK it is 5.79, which is highest one. Means it is the amount of money that that any country is spending for the education system in our country, in any country itself. So if we compare those figures, US is 7 times of the economy that our country has, area and everything we are taking care. So might be what I personally feel after reading, means morning I was traveling, I was just checking, so I thought that I must share it with you. The people are saying that if this would be the rate in our country, it will take 126 years to develop the economy of our country. 126 years, 6 generations time will take to, we are looking for developed economy or any other economy itself. So teachers, which needs to be the social server, need to be served, I think. and they are also the social server to the society in which you want to say something. You want to say something? I'll come back to you. So this is what I mean. This is what we are giving to our students. We themselves are making them materialistic, right? And I think we always teach them how to be successful. I think we should also teach them how to face the failure as well. We are making them more materialistic with these packages, but we are forgetting to teach them all those morals. Google is there to provide all the information. There is some meeting in our university just few days back in which there were people from SOCOM, NASCAM, so 2-3 organizations were there. This NAC team is also there. So there was one discussion that was going on in which people are saying that it is only we who are making our students, more materialistic, and we are teaching them about those materialistic things, whether it is packages or anything. So they said that try to inculcate those things in your classes, which the students don't get from the Google. I mean, what we are content that we are teaching to our students, Google is there, more videos is there. So what extra thing that you can give to our students in the class? I think that is the morals. But for that, it will take a lot of time. I mean, first we need to be the moral person, then only we can teach those things. So for the scope of the youth, it will say that try to build a little bit factor among the youth that yes, you are responsible and you are the future. So this is one of the career in the same, so that you can realizes the needs itself. So in the end, I want to conclude that I'm no one to say you that okay, be the social server or start charity or do anything. I think whatever we people have been doing, being a faculty, one or another way, we are the social server of the society. First our family, then our community, then society, then students, everything. Wherever you feel that you can be socially responsible, I think we should play our responsibility. That's it. Thank you.
इसलिए आप जो कह रहे थे कि इंडिया में हम बजट का इतना परसेंटेज जैसे खर्च करते हैं इन्वेस्टमेंट में करते हैं एक्चुअली ऑलवेज बजट डजंट मैटर
Yes.
फॉर एग्जांपल यू सी इन दिल्ली आई थिंक ऑल ओवर इंडिया ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड अगर मैं गलत नहीं हूं राइट नाउ दिल्ली हैज earmarked 27% फॉर एजुकेशन 27% पूरे हिंदुस्तान में पूरे वर्ल्ड में कहीं नहीं होगा इसका but still if you see the education department there I think that has got deteriorated to the minimum
Yes.
maximum level.
Yeah, I'll share that.
During this government 27% they are giving. Similarly for medical they are saying if you combine for both these two you can say services and department about 50% they have earmarked for medical and education and you see what is the you can say situation there.
So this is what, it has been mentioned in the message as well that, somehow if budget is there, as I'm coming to your point, you are spending money, you are giving the funds, but people are not taking it their responsibility. I mean, that yes, exactly where to use and how to use it. As I have given you the example of my own that how companies have been using n number of things to save their taxes. So this is what going on. I mean, this is something that is called, realization of your self, conscious. I think nobody can teach for the same. It is all about your environment. It is all about your upbringing. And it's all about your need specifically, because nothing is right and wrong in this world. I think only the situation that makes right and wrong. So there are lots of things for the same, but yes, I think, we are earning, we are doing, but I'm not asking to leave your family or your livelihood and forget about it. But wherever, which place, any platform, you got the chance to serve, to share, to bring change, I think we should. And because being a teacher, we daily interacted at least 100 and 200 or 30, 300, students plus in a daily basis, 100, whatever the strength. So you can change someone's life or inculcate this instinct among the minds of the students that yes, somehow wherever you can contribute, you should, because it's very important. Otherwise, this earth is becoming a very saturation point at this stage from the
Problem
every
here, madam,
resources.
teachers are not the part of decision making process.
Yes,
I can
Some-
take decision on my individual level.
yes.
2 student I can
So
do.
this is what
One
I'm.
student I can do. I am not the part of decision making process of the government.
Management is going against.
This is what is
That
going
the
on.
biggest problem.
This is what is going on. But still, I'm saying I'm not. If you can't change the system, wherever you can change, you can. At least you can change the mind of your students. If you can't change the mind of your management, wherever you can, I think we should. But with the sake of this thing that yes, management will do lots of things against me. Yeah, it happens in everywhere. Even I'm also working. I can understand this happens because if you want to bring some change, you have to fight like anything. But yes, somehow we have to be responsible because this is our generation, this is upcoming generation, or this is our planet, and this is for our society.
Sometimes हम उनसे पूछते ही रहे हैं requirement जिसको requirement है जो change यहाँ पे change होना है जिसमें आप change लाना चाहते हो उससे आप नहीं पूछते तुम्हें क्या चाहिए तुम्हें तो
उसको पता ही नहीं है ना,
क्या है उससे आप
उसको पता ही नहीं है.
नहीं ऐसा नहीं है sometimes you know
नहीं
पता
मैंने
नहीं होता
कहा
बहुत बार हमें क्या change चाहिए
उसको
लेकिन आप वो नहीं देते आपको क्या suitable है आपको क्या लगता है आप उस तरीके से करते हो
तो challenges are everywhere, sir. Challenges are everywhere. I think we people, I mean, you people are intelligent enough how to make the challenges into opportunities. I think being an academician, if you compare an academician with the politician, an academician is well enough to know what is the technical bureaucratic things, but politicians know how to influence this. So I think you should use the blend of two and just bring the change. Yeah, it's very difficult to change the status quo, and there are lots of challenges. It's very easy to come and stand over here and stay on the platform. But yes, I think from at very one instant, or I mean, at some level, we should start. If we are so retrogressive or we are so negative and we are ignoring anything like wherever it is, I think we should.
You started your blog with this term oxymoron. So social entrepreneurship. Now we are talking about the social changes and bringing something without thinking about the profit. Now, according to you, or according to all of us, can we think about the social change or do something without having a backup of a fund or money?
This
behind us?
is exactly I have explained. This is
the
what.
thing is now, when we are talking about our Prime Minister's mission of startup and Stand Up India and all these things, there he is talking about generating your own employment.
This is
So isn't it a little contradictory in these two theories?
actually it is a contradictory in the terms where like you entrepreneurship, profit, society. That's why I have said that it's an oxymoron. Right? This is what I was trying to make you understandable, that this is what social entrepreneurship differs from the normal businesses. This is the basic difference. Generally, people are making it confused with NGOs.
No, that is fine.
In NGOs, you are talking about fund. But social entrepreneurship means be self-reliant. It circulate the money in this manner. हाँ, पैसा निकालना नहीं है, पैसा आपको generate करना है.
ये भी प्रॉफिट मोड जैसा अगर बिजनेस फॉर्म करती है वैसे ही करेगी बट विद अ विजन शुड बी
Society.
सोशल पर्पस इट विल आल्सो क्रिएट लाइक अ कंपनी
But actually, it is truly said it's an oxymoron.
मतलब if you come across with the research, na, you will not find a single paper in which someone has defined, okay, this is social entrepreneur. Because, people change the terminologies as per their convenience. And that is the reason that research has not been going in an appropriate direction.
And I think this needs a very matured mind to think and observe.
That's why, I have discussed that social empathy received.
If we talk, we expect from our students or the young generation to start the social entrepreneurship, I think it will be a little too much we are expecting, but maybe at our level
Yes.
we can.
So I have developed one cell in my university in which, in our university there's a big problem of peer pressure, stress. suicide level, I mean, students got to be so extremes. So I have developed one 545 group of people, you know, in which they charge rupees 10 for one consultation. I have prepared one website for the same, and people come and share their, I mean, their those things which they generally don't, like girlfriend problem, boyfriend. But generally यही होता है आजकल, if you come across with the people. तो वहाँ पे कंसल्टेशन की जरूरत है. तो देन मैंने बच्चों को बोला कि यू चार्ज ओनली रुपीज 10, बट 10 इज नॉट अ बिग अमाउंट. तो मतलब थोड़ा सा चेंज हम ला रहे हैं, बट कैसे ला रहे हैं, मतलब इतना पैसा नहीं कि बच्चे भी थोड़ा, बच्चों को मैं 4-5 HR वाले बच्चे लगाए हैं मैंने, तो उनको देयर शुड बी सम मोटिवेशन. Yes, it is called, that's why that, you know, opportunity identification is a very big challenge. How you will identify the I went to HR. So one day I was just teaching this subject, this groupism and all, you know. Then I have some MBA students, and there were 5 students, because it's not like everyone is so money oriented. I come across with the people, actually being into placements, I used to interview students, right? And yesterday only I have interviewed 50 students, in which, you know, I come across with 5 students whose aim of their life is society. And I was very astonished. I was very, I mean, happy as well. It's not like we are thinking, there are lots of students who are also thinking, and they're working as well. Means in our university, there are lots of platforms in which people go to villages, asylum house, and they're sharing their experience. कि मैडम, मतलब मैं सोचता हूँ कि मेरे माँ बाप कभी उस जगह पे ना आए. वो कहते हैं कि वो पेरेंट्स के पास गया asylum, तो वो कहते हैं कि हमें साथ ले जाओ आप, या मेरे बेटे से मेरी बात करा दो. तो बेटे से बात कराई, बेटा कहता मैं नहीं लेने आऊंगा. मतलब things are there, but people are working. Students are also really work for the society. So this is something I think we all can work. I mean, at this level. मतलब वो कहते हैं कि बूंद बूंद से सागर बनता है, तो कहीं ना कहीं it will be. Any other thing you want to ask?
तो ये है कि instead of doing individual social work, इसकी बजाय इसको एक फॉर्म दे दो, तो उसको बिजनेस फॉर्म ही चाहिए. With a focus, let him focus on society.
आर्किटेक्ट में तो ऐसी बहुत सी चीजें हो सकती हैं.
सब कुछ चीजें क्लियर है, सबके पढ़ने के लिए, पर सब ने चलना अपने ट्रेंड से, अपना जो माइंड सेट है.
मैं यहाँ पे एक बात कर लेना कि इंडिविजुअल मॉडल पर्सनल बिलीफ हमारे बोले.
आई थिंक जो आपकी जो स्लाइड थी, आई थिंक आप जो सोशल कास्ट कर रहे हो, जब तक आप एक लेवल पे नहीं पहुंच जाओगे, एवरीथिंग इज इन माइंड ओनली.
Sir, in my next session, you know, I will discuss that how exactly it happens. मैं ना सर इसके लिए ना the point which you have raised, excuse me sir. In my next session, I will give you a detailed answer. जो आपने question पूछा ना कि ऐसा सबके साथ नहीं होता. There is some reason for that कि ऐसा सबके साथ क्यों नहीं होता. I have one proper model. You know, I'll discuss in my next session कि ऐसा क्यों नहीं होता. उसके there's various reasons for that. मतलब no, I'll not take much time for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We thank you for your wonderful participation. I thank the participants at the Nodal Centers, and we will be